This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago. Welcome to Chicago.
This is Chicago. Doors open on the left at Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago.
Welcome to Chicago. Yes, we are still at Berwyn at Output Lounge in Berwyn, and we are doing our pregame show for the Chicago Bears versus Cincinnati Bengals. And what is up? What's the word? And there's a lot of news to talk about. We've got injury report. We've got our picks of the week, and lots of news to talk about. Ivan, you talked about off air. You might change your pick.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm now that I know Flacco is going to be playing, I'm a little nervous just because of how everything went down last week. Do I trust it? I don't know. I'll let you guys know by the end of the show.
You got to trust the process. Joe Flacco is in dealing with an AC injury in his shoulder, so you're gonna see his arm in different angles to alleviate some of that pain. I'm pretty sure he got shot up with some juice.
Yeah.
Because I don't know what they juice him up with anymore now.
Well, the biggest thing is, which is one of our biggest deficiencies, is the pass rush, right?
Right.
Put him on the ground. That AC joint's gonna hurt.
Mm-hmm.
Falling on that arm, falling any way where you got to plant that arm, you got to extend your shoulder. It's gonna hurt. So put him on the ground. That's the biggest thing right now. Put him on the ground. If it's Joe Flacco, regardless, put him on the ground. Get him worried constantly about that arm, and good things will happen. But again, it just hasn't been consistent for the Chicago Bears. Even through a 4-game win streak, things just haven't been consistent. Offense, defense, quarterback, coach, everything is just, it's not there yet.
The Bears have not had a complete game, and I don't want to hear about the Dallas game. All right. At the end of the day, we weren't able to run the ball against Dallas, so it was not a complete win. When I'm talking about, I need the running game, I need the passing game, special teams, I need the defense having takeaways. I need a complete game from all facets of the Chicago Bears, and we haven't had that. This is the opportunity to have that. Manungai will be stepping in for DeAndre Swift, who's dealing with the groin. He's been dealing with groin for a while, and he's been trying to gut it out. Can't do it this week. So Manungai, we expect him to have multiple carries, good yardage. We need 4 to 5 yards per carry. Let's go 5 to 5. 4 to 5. Yeah. Let's get that going. We need DJ Moore to be more of a presence so that he opens up the rest of the field for the rest of the guys. So we need the ball going to DJ Moore. I need him getting about 8 targets a game just to open it up.
Yeah, well, I agree. There needs to be a spread when it comes to the quarterback play with Caleb Williams. He needs to not always lock in on Rome when it comes to crunch time. You have other guys out there. We saw what happened against New Orleans. We saw what happened in Baltimore. When he locks on, people pick up on it, and they're picking up on it very, very quickly. So he has to go ahead and make sure and have a conscious effort to, if Rome's open, fine, that's all good and fine, hit him. But if you have doubt, don't try to force it to him to make a play. You have other guys out there, other skill players, allow them to work as well.
Yeah, looking at the injury report, again, we got Luther Burden out with a concussion. We seen that. No flag last week. No fine, which is wild. Roshan Johnson. Okay, moving on. Dominic Robinson is out with an ankle. DeAndre Swift, we talked about it, with a groin. Amen Abambinga. I got it right today. He's out.
I guess you did.
It's close enough.
Yeah.
Out with a knee. You say you have a couple of dings, right? Dings and bangers right there with Kokomet coming back, but still dinged up. DJ Moore with a hip and groin. Dunze's dealing with a heel issue. Stevenson's dealing with a shoulder issue. Joe Tooney says non-injury related rest. So rest the big guy, I guess. That's what they were doing this week. And OZ. He is playing, but he's dealing with a knee issue. So the Bears are very banged up, but at the same time, it is a next man mentality. Mm-hmm. And again, it's going to show with the running game. We've been preaching this for 7 weeks now, talking about establish the run, establish the run.
About 10 years.
Yeah. Establish the run so it opens up the play action and makes it easier for Caleb to get in rhythm. We need Caleb to be the reason we win this game, not the reason we lose this game.
Yeah, and again, you want your quarterback, right? You want Caleb to raise his game. You want to see those big numbers. You want to see him make it look easy, right?
Right.
Right now, again, I'll beat this drum continuously. Right now, this team isn't built for everybody to succeed at a high level, right? And I'm not making an excuse for him. Bad play, ugly interceptions, those things need to be criticized. But when it comes to the overall play of Caleb Williams, there's a lot that affects it, right? There's a lot that affects it. With the pass penalties, with the open, free rushers coming in his face. A lot of wow, that was crazy. Right into his face every single time. Not every single time, but majority of the time, you see free rushers going at Caleb where he has to escape. And I just feel like if the Bears can make one thing, right, do one thing very, very well, and that's the run game, everything else, including Caleb Williams, will begin to find some success. But it doesn't work when you get scared being down 10 and go away from the run game and sit in shotgun, and it just doesn't work. It doesn't work.
It does not work. So again, we're talking about Caleb Williams being the reason that they have to win. I need touchdowns from him. I don't need field goals.
Yeah.
I need touchdowns. I need 7 points every time they're in the red zone. They're one of the worst red zone teams, and it's starting to show because you don't have 4 and 5 takeaways a game.
Right.
Now you're being exposed on the offensive side, putting pressure on the offensive side, and we're not doing it. We're scoring 3 points a game. And we even talked about it last week at the end of the postgame show. Is Cairo Santos' job in jeopardy if he can't hit these, 48, 50, 52 yarders when you have this kid that, is trying to do a redemption story and come in off of San Francisco's?
I'll say this. I hope there's an opportunity where we're end of the half, right? End of the quarter.
Okay.
We're trying to get we're in range, we get a field goal, maybe I'll call it 55 to 58.
Okay.
Cairo's going to miss it. It's just not going to. And if he does make it, it's going to probably hit the bottom of the crossbar, the field goal post, and go over. He just doesn't have the leg, right? As consistent as he is, or as good as he is, inside 55, it's just not good enough now in today's NFL with kickers and how the kickers are just booming the ball, even with and I know they mentioned that they couldn't get their kicking ball in. I don't give a shit. I don't think Cairo makes it with the kicking ball.
No.
I'm sorry.
No.
But again, what's
a kicking ball? Is it more inflated or what?
Yeah, it's more inflated. It's
so it can bounce.
Yeah, it's not as hard as a regular one.
Okay.
But again, I think this is the time where you have to make a decision, right? These next coming weeks, because it's like, hey man, you have a young guy who we already saw kick these field goals, kick a game winner for us. At length, right? At some length, we don't think Cairo probably would hit. But for me, this game comes down to if Cairo misses another one, now you have to really start taking into consideration what you're going to do with this kicker situation.
Ivan, talk to me about this guy they just signed off the streets. I know he has some history with the Bears. He has some history with Cincinnati. He has a lot of history with a lot of wide receivers and get into scuffles. Talk to me about this player.
I'll say that I'm glad he's here to help, right? Yeah, he has a background, obviously. We all remember Anthony Miller and who was the other guy that got into it with him? I'm forgetting his name. Regardless, they're not playing, right? They're not here, they're not in the league, but Garner Johnson is. I feel like he's just here to help, right? Like you're in a desperate situation. You're down cornerbacks. You don't trust the cornerbacks that you have. You saw that last week when you pretty much weren't playing man-to-man because you were going to get destroyed.
Yeah.
I feel like, hey, man, just accept them, right? Just you're here to help. Cool. You're part of the team. What I would say is that the Bears organization wouldn't have done this in previous years. They wouldn't have brought in a guy
with a trouble pass
with a checkered background.
Mm-hmm.
And because of the lack of established foundation. So it's impressive to me that they trust this, coaching staff enough and this locker room enough to be like, hey, we'll take a shot on him. We need players. We know he can be a menace, but we have the infrastructure to go ahead and kind of just bring him back down, right? Like just kind of contain his emotions and his,
I think once you get older, as far as being a player in the league, you start to calm down and start realizing my time is ending and I need to be able to continue to play at this level. So I want to stay on a team. I want to, be on better behavior. I do expect him to be somewhat of a help in the secondary, especially in third down man coverage. But it's going to be tough. They've got T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, who are going to be literally targeted just about every single play. Joe Flacco is literally throwing the ball up to them to see what they can do with the ball, because Joe Flacco is smart enough to get the ball out of his hands very quickly and will let the wide receivers get the yak. And that's what I'm expecting Caleb to learn at some point this year. Let the wide receivers get the yak for you. You don't have to throw the home run ball every single time. And that's what causes him to hold the ball. He wants that big play. He's big play hunting. Right. So Joe Flacco, again, if we give him the Carson Wentz treatment where he's on the floor the entire game and he may be knocked out, great. It's another way for us to win. But again, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, trying to limit them to under 100 yards is going to be key for this game for the Bears to take the victory.
It brings me back to the pass rush again. And I know we added Tyreek's back.
Tyreek's back, yep.
And then we added Gardner Johnson, and we got our safeties. But again, it's about the pass rush. There's nothing you can do when a guy is sitting back there 7 seconds, right? Just scanning the field with ease. He could pick you apart. And that's what happened last week. It happened, in certain times against the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be able to get to the quarterback. And that's going to be my biggest key to slowing down this Bengals offense with Joe Flacco is you got to put him on the ground. You got to ruffle his feathers. He's running a lot more because he's panicking. Where he's trying to escape. He's trying to just get the ball out, get to the next play and survive. Put him on the ground. Like I said, he's hurt. Make sure he stays hurt.
I love it. One of the things that we're talking about while we're praising Monangai, he looks like the only running back on the depth chart at the moment, which might be an issue, right? Who's going to spell him? It's going to be DJ Moore. I'm going to see DJ Moore in the backfield. And then if it is DJ Moore in the backfield, isn't that an automatic tell? It's a poker term, a tell that he's going to be running the ball back there.
Yeah. Again,
because you got no OZ either.
I could see this. I could see Ben Johnson trying to, compensate for like lack of depth, lack of players, right? Thanks Ryan Poles. With jet sweeps, with trickery, misdirections, handoffs to the wide receivers or to the tight end, or just
that would be wild. You start getting Cole Kmet in the running game.
I could see a lot more screens. Just to at certain times when Monangai's not in, just to give him a rest.
Spell, yep.
But again, I'm fine with Kyle Monangai running the rock. That's not my biggest issue. My biggest issue is
he still needs to be spelled. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have the depth. You don't have your franchise pillar. Roshan Johnson can't stay on the fucking field. Travis Homer, God knows where the hell he is. You don't have another running back. You don't want to bring up anybody from the practice squad. You don't want to sign anybody. You don't want to trade for anybody. You don't want to do shit.
What happened to Wheeler? Remember, we cut him at the beginning of the year?
Yeah. I mean, fuck, you're just cutting. I mean, but again, I don't know if Elon Wheeler would have been a major factor, but
give him 5 carries a game. I mean, that's spell them out.
Right. But I agree with that. But you're not going after anybody, right? You got Ursary, or not Ursary. Audric Estime. I think he's still out there, but you got other guys out there that you could go ahead and add to this running back room that would just, even if they're a body, man, they could run the rock and give the guys that you are looking at in Monangai and Swift a break. And they don't do that. They think they can get away with the misdirections, handoffs to the receiver, bringing DJ into the backfield. That shit gets old and picked up quick. And I think Baltimore picked up on it rather quickly, quicker than anybody really right now. So I'm looking for a hammer. I need Monangai to be a hammer. Run power consistently. You know what I'm saying?
There's been some rumors. There's been a lot of rumors over the internet, but why not call the Jets and inquire about Breece Hall? What does it cost to get him? Just inquire. What does a phone call take?
Nothing,
right? I'm pretty sure he wants out of there.
Pretty sure everybody wants out of there.
I mean, what would you pay for Breece Hall? A fourth?
No. I'd give you a fourth.
Now you have a 3-headed monster when everyone's healthy, and if not, you still have a 2-headed monster that can be productive in the running game. he could pass block, he can catch off. You
and
know,
if anybody's upset about like the fourth, like they could do a lot worse with the fourth. They could get a punter that doesn't punt well, right? They could get a punt guy that's punting at like 45 yards a clip and not really doing much.
Well,
right?
Where's Austin Booker?
Where's Austin Booker? Where's Austin Booker?
He's on a milk carton right now. That's where he's at. Yeah. So we have a lot to talk about now. If you're looking at the defense, we said our defense is a little depleted as well. How do you scheme against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Joe Flacco?
Well, you get aggressive. You got to be aggressive. You can't be scared like last week, and you were allowing guys to just run free down the field, sitting in zone. You gotta be able to play aggressive. They have to have a balance of man and zone. There was an overabundance or compensation of zone last week, and you saw what happened with bad corners. You saw what happened. So now you add Gardner Johnson. Yeah, he's had struggles of late. He's older. Tyreek comes back, so you have this shot, right? You give yourself more of a competitive opportunity. I think you go ahead and try to rough up these receivers. Try to get in Jamar, especially with Gardner Johnson. Get in T. Higgins' face. Get in Chase's face. Don't just allow them to run free, play soft on them, and do what they do, because that's what will happen. You will get got.
Yeah, again, we are live at Output Lounge in Berwyn, 3250 Grove Avenue. I always want to say street. I probably did say street. A couple of people that said they were coming. But it's the same thing, right? Let's take some comments off the chat. We got a lot. The chat's blowing up.
Not really comments. It's just
it's a lot of bear down stuff.
Just here and there, just reminding us of certain things,
fact checking us. Love it. Love that.
So, yeah, I mean, again, when it comes down to it, people are going to say, oh, you got to take advantage of the defense of the Bengals. Yeah, I agree with that, but it's coming down to defense in the running game again. Like, you're looking at, if anybody looking is this needs to be a air it out type of game, I get it, but it doesn't happen if you don't run the football and you're not keeping the Bengals offense off the field. It just doesn't happen.
There, Big Steve's in the house.
Big Steve in the
What's going on? Now I'm on baby duty, man. Supposed to be there today, man.
I'm gonna have your wings for you.
Oh my goodness. Next week, 100%. I made an agreement. My wife had the book club, her monthly book club that she hasn't been to since she's had the child. And you get that look and you just kind of know like when to fold them up, and
you got to know when to fold them.
Yeah, so I was just like, hey, listen, I'll stay with the baby, and then you can go to that. But next week, she's like, I just want this week. So here I am. Got the baby to lay down. So
perfect.
Hopefully she's pretty chill. So maybe she gets a nap if she does wake up, during the game. One day she just sat there with me the whole game, almost like for at least the second half. So we'll see. What's going on, fellas? It seems like a pretty nice day outside for a fall day.
It is beautiful here in Chicago. Yeah, it's beautiful here in Chicago. About 45 degrees and sunny. So Steve, cannot beat that.
Steve, we're just talking right now about how to beat the Cincinnati Bengals team, and I was saying it's an old drum that we beat. You got to run the rock to work off the play action. You got to slow them down on the offensive side of the ball. But in your opinion, do you see this more as a defensive focus game where you need to get your guys working on defense, or you see this as offense needs to go ahead and control the entire game and put up 45 points?
I mean, in the beautiful world, we love to put 45 points. But if I'm looking at it, and we that's something we'll just have to see what happens. But definitely a ball control type of game, and the challenge is you don't have Swift, so now the depth is something that's going to get questioned today, and we'll see if Travis Homer and Kyle Monungai can step up. I really am confident about him having a good game, being able to see what he can do. But what are we going to get out of Travis Homer? Did they elevate anybody else?
No. We have one running back.
So 2 running backs, basically.
Is Homer active?
Homer, yeah, he's got to be active.
Right. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, he's got to be active, but you don't have any Roshan Johnson. There's two running backs. So you telling me you're going in with two running backs?
Yeah, Dr. Zayas says Homer is active. It's just not updated on the Bears.
The Bears website's now updated.
So you're telling me we're going in with two running backs, not our practice squad guy, not getting elevated. That is nuts. But that's for a discussion after the game. So obviously you need Travis Homer and see. And this is a critical spot for polls and and not answering getting those questions answered in the off season. But we just hope that we can run the ball efficiently with those two. We'll see what we get out of Homer, but you know we got to run the ball. We got to stick with the run game. And Caleb does have to. We have to find and see if what is unlocked in his game and what things has he adjusted. And that's always week to week. We want to see where his game is at. And what adjustments have they made offensively? Because last week they got exposed in a lot of ways. They went away from the run game. And then, up front, they got exposed as far as, protections and getting outmanned. And so what are they doing? I think in the sense that the old line took a step back as, they were taking a lot of steps forward. Can they rebound? And what kind of game we're going to get out of Caleb when we need it? There was going to be the question, but I would love to have a ball control game and us putting up a lot of points in doing so and taking some big shots and taking advantage of a defense that's not so good, But then again, we are on the road and it's going to be that tough challenge. But that's what it's going to take, man, because at the end of the day, Cincinnati does have an explosive offense, regardless of Joe Burrow not being there. Joe Flacco.
Burrow. No,
Burrow, yeah, Burrow's out.
Yeah, Burrow. I said with Burrow,
Right.
you got Joe Flacco's giving this.
Yeah.
He's giving this offense some life, a lot of life. I mean, I got Chase Brown on my fantasy team. He wasn't doing shit,
Mhm.
and for those first few games or so before Joe Flacco came. As soon as Joe Flacco was entered into the lineup, you see the production of the offense in all phases of the game, as far as run game and obviously in the pass game, where you got a veteran guy who still has a strong arm and a great sense of the game, his intelligence. So we're gonna have to. We got two outstanding receivers, the best receiver in the league that we have to contend with injury, and obviously we got Tariq Stevenson coming back, but there were no Kyler Gordon or Jalen Johnson. So we have our challenges, and also our big thing is like, hey, let's get to Joe Flacco, but we don't get to the quarterback. That's the thing. So what things is Dennis Allen going to cook up this week? It's in terms of trying to confuse Joe Flacco, or trying to simulate some kind of form of pressure. What are we going to get out of Austin Booker? Is Sweat going to continue to kind of show a little bit of signs of life of $100 million man? That will be the question. So is he going to show? And we just can't have flashes. Oh, there it is. There's a little bit. We need a big game out of him, and we got to get to Joe Flacco and let's get some hits on him. If we can, that would be beautiful. But we'll see, man.
Steve, with as far as the secondary is concerned, like you saw last week, we talked about the lack of trust on Monday that Dennis had for the cornerbacks. Now that you have Gardner Johnson and Tyreek Stevenson back, do you see them pressing a lot more and getting into the wide receivers' faces, trying to slow them down?
Yeah. It's going to be interesting how they use Gardner Johnson. I know he's been termed as safety, and but I know the usage might be him as a slot, a guy who's going to come off the edge and do some of the things that Kyler Gordon, was able to present and give us when the little bit of time that we had him. So I could foresee them doing a little bit of pressing it, but got to be careful with that. You know what I mean? Because T. Higgins and Jameer Chase can get off the press. They can do it all, especially Jameer Chase. He can do it all. He can do it all. So if that's part of the scheme to get them all scheduled, to press them at the line, But when you press at the line, you usually hope that your
defensive line.
your D line can get there.
Right,
right.
And like that runs the risk of you press at the line with your corners, and your D line's not getting there, and you get beat off the line, and so it will be interesting to see what approach Dennis Allen takes this week in terms of you have a traditional. Last week was I think it was frustrating to see, but it was an offense that you have basically running what Lamar Jackson would run, and I think we kind of, I don't know if this team overlooked who was the quarterback last week. I don't know if they
Tyler
overlooked him. Yeah, like gave him too much respect, or but
Did he drop off?
Steve, you there?
Uh, sorry. Let him
bring him back.
Yeah, we'll bring him back. So again, it's going to be a big difference because we talk about Huntley being a mobile quarterback, just like Lamar would have been, and how much that trouble gives us the Chicago Bears defense. Now we have a more stable, a stationary quarterback who's got a quick release, get it in and get it out. And,
but again, Tyler Huntley didn't really escape. He was sitting in the pocket. That was the issue. I felt like he was sitting in the pocket and not put it, and we got no pressure. So again, like Steve was saying, it's like we have to be able to get to the quarterback. Now, Steve, does Austin Booker move the needle for you?
I think he does a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to sit here like we're getting some Pro Bowl DN back, but we are getting a body, a different type of rusher, a guy who's going to give you an edge, attack the edges, not come right down the middle of offensive linemen and try to bull rush. You know what I mean? He's going to give you that outside, attacking the outside edge of the offensive tackle, which is basically a speed rush, trying to bend the edge, bend the corner, come around with speed, and can set it up with a spin move. Right now, we have none of that going. The guys that we got in there, even Dominic Robinson, Sweat, Dio, they're all down the middle, one arm stab, bull rush type of guys. But Austin Booker gives you a different feel for that. So it would be nice to see what he does, and he's shown flashes, and I think people kind of, and it's also what is his growth going to be coming off of an injury, and obviously going into his second year. This is a guy who had a lot of promise, and so he's still in the developmental stage. And so I'm excited to see as he gets back, can he start providing us some brush, but also is he going to be somebody that can be that type of rusher for us moving forward? Because we did draft him, and it was a steal when we got him a couple years ago, where he came out early, and people said if he would have stayed, he could have been a day one, first round, second round, so a day two guy. So him coming out early, we snagged him in the fourth round, I believe, was third or fourth round.
Fourth round.
So you want to see that maturation and start seeing, we saw a little bit in preseason. So, but just see his development, but also give us something different than what we've seen, because every week we see the same type of rush out of our DNs, so it's just right into the cuffs of an offensive lineman. We're going to get something different. So will it make an immediate impact? I don't know. I'm hoping we get something. I hope it, because it's just going to be a different element. So I am excited. It's almost like picking up a free agent. Like, hey, we finally, got a guy to try to give us a pass rush. This was seemingly, and I'm sure this is the way they looked at it, as far as we're not running out there to go get a DN. We got Austin, and so let's hope that it pays some dividends today.
Let's get to the picks. Steve, you want to go first?
Yeah,
go ahead.
Oh man, god dang it. Yeah. Yeah. I was not ready for it. Like because I think I'm splitting hairs here, but I want to be like Shayne and be like, I'm in a prove it mode. But I feel like the Bears will get the job done today. I think if we're going against a lesser, I wouldn't say a lesser, but a better opponent as far as overall team. I would expect them. I probably wouldn't pick them because I would be in that proven mode. But I think this team gets it done. I think they get themselves together. They've pulled out a victory with all the injuries and everything. I'm hoping, but I'm gonna go with Bears 28. No, let's go Bears 30.
Ooh,
No, 31. Bears 31. Let's go Cincinnati 24.
Okay.
all right. I'll go, and I think it's gonna be up to Caleb.
Oh wait, hold
Go
on.
ahead.
Who's gonna pop for you today? Offensive.
Popping.
Yeah, offensive.
Shit. I mean, it's easy to say Kyle. I got him on my fantasy. I picked him up. It's easy to say him. I'm gonna go with Austin Booker. I'm gonna go with Austin Booker. Talked about him. I'm thinking he's gonna generate. I think he's gonna pop. I think even if it doesn't come in the sense of sacks, I think he could move the needle enough where he's able to force Flacco up into the pocket and allow other guys to get a little, get something out of that. You know what I mean? A guy who's going to threaten the edge, maybe enough where he can move Flacco around a little bit and other guys can get paid. So I'm going to go Austin Booker.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Obviously, Monangai is gonna be my pick, but I need a honorable mention by Caleb to be able to step up and control the offense. He needs to control the offense. On defense, I'm gonna go Tyreek Stevenson with interception, and then I got a Bears victory 27-24.
Okay.
Okay.
No, we talked about this at the beginning.
Yeah, we did.
Was I going to flip because Joe was in? And I
Oh
am not.
yeah. I remember you. I saw the show. I saw you. You
I'm
had a
not gonna
different
flip.
story when you thought Joe was down, but you
Yeah,
originally
yeah.
went.
But I'm gonna stick with what I went with.
Okay.
When I thought he was out, I'm gonna stay. But I'll add some points to the Bengals. I'll say that. So I'll go 34 for the Bears, and I'll go Cincinnati 28.
Okay.
Okay.
I love the high school.
I guess to somebody to pop. Defensive wise, give me shit. Defensive wise, give me Gardner Johnson. Just to help out. Just because you're a new Bear, I want to see you do
well.
something. You're on a team again, another team. You're in the NFL still, so be excited about that. But on offense, I'm gonna go Caleb.
There we go.
I think today's the day. I think today's the day where you see some big numbers. You see less of the indecisiveness, and you see more of the immediate reactions to things.
Oh, I get to pick an offensive guy too.
Yeah, see?
Oh, okay. DJ Moore. He's trending up. I got DJ.
Okay. All right.
So
there we go. All right. Well, man, thanks, Steve, for popping in. I guess we'll wrap this thing up.
Yeah. So I don't know if Steve's available for the halftime or the post game show, but
I'll pop in. We'll see the status of baby. But I'll plan on popping in and tell them to save me some wings next week. I'll definitely be in there next week.
all right, Big Steve. We'll talk to you later.
I'll see y'all later.
All right, we are Chichikaw Sports and TTNL, and we are live at Output Lounge in Berwyn. So stop in for some great wings, cold drinks, and get to hang out with us. We got beautiful merch here. You can purchase these beautiful shirts behind us. Move out the way. There you go. And we'll be back for the halftime show. So keep it here and bear down, baby.
Here we go. Bear down.